America just got into a second civil war, and we have to talk about it.
That's explained.
Hello, and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please do not forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, what did we just see?
We just saw Civil War. Not Captain America's Civil War, Civil War.
Two completely so similar movies.
Yeah,
No.
they really are. No.
Yeah, definitely both of them. You take the family to, 100%.
Oh gosh,
No.
please don't do that. Not for this film.
Yeah, no, this is a hard R.
Yes.
An absolute hard R of a movie. So for all you who don't know, Civil War is Studio A24's latest movie, and honestly, it's bigger. Like, honestly, the scale is bigger than what they usually do.
Yeah, it seems like one of their bigger films too. I'm gotta look at the budget for it too, because I feel like that end sequence, no spoilers yet, but that end sequence is pretty big, so.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was very impressed. I mean, I was expecting it to be like large scale, but it went much harder than I thought it would.
Yeah. White House Down kind of level.
Honestly, I'd say more so. Like,
yeah.
And it felt, I know you know, like, there's so many people saying the same thing, like, oh, you know, this movie felt real, and it's just like, and just like almost uncanny with like how real it is, and honestly, yeah, it felt like that.
Yeah, I did not enjoy this. I was very uncomfortable, very like queasy during the movie because it felt so real.
Yeah, and honestly, the sound design as well, like with the gunshots and like
the camera clicks.
Yeah, the how they build suspense even in the more delicate scenes.
Yeah.
So well done. It's definitely an Alex Garland direction that was, at the helm here.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I mean, for all you who don't know, this movie is about like Kristen Dunst, who's a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Who basically has her crew, and then you have, a young person and some other people tag along with them while they're trying to travel from New York, I believe they were in initially, to D.C. to get an interview with the president in the midst of this civil war.
Yeah.
And it's quite a journey they go on.
Yeah, seriously. I didn't realize how far apart New York and Washington, D.C. were, but it makes sense, like, once you think about it. But...
Yeah, it's like, East Coast's all the same. Can you just, like, walk everywhere?
You can just walk that way, right? It's like Europe.
And not wear a Kevlar vest? No. No, but I was really kind of surprised. I mean, I knew, Annmarie, you went into this movie, and you were kind of like... You're not a big fan of like thriller kind of suspense.
I walked into this movie and I told Ethan straight up, I'm not excited to go see this movie. I just was not. And I don't know, I'm like trying to catch my feelings if it is that I didn't like the message of what it is because it felt too real, or if I didn't like the movie and how it was delivered. But I feel like it's just the message for me. Like, it just felt way too real and too scary, and election year and everything. And me and Ethan both agreed, like, we didn't want to get political for this talk, but I feel like it's so hard not to.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is about politics, really.
Yeah.
Like, politics and, like, what if it were taken up to 11, arguably even 12?
Oh,
I mean, it is just a very hardcore representation of what would happen. And honestly, Alex Garland does such a great job at capturing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple scenes in particular in the movie that really stood out as like, okay, this is way too real. And not just in the sense of like gore and all that, like, oh, people are getting shot, it looks real. Like that, yes, that too. But at the same time, like, there are scenes where it's just the dialogue and setting within itself and how it's shot that just really conveys, like, this could happen in my neighborhood, or this could happen, like, anywhere in America.
Which is so scary. And I think just because, like, in our real life, a lot of wars going on, like, Ukraine's, like, one of them that we've seen photos and all that. So I think just to me, I was like, oh my God, this is, like, felt real. It felt like something that could happen, and like the way these journalists, like Kristen Dunst, Wagner, like how they just go about it and everything. Me and you do disagree their stance on journalism, so I'm excited to talk about that. But yeah, it definitely felt real. I think like the score, like you said, is a huge part of that. The visuals, everything.
Oh my gosh, there's one scene with the visuals in particular where it's terrifyingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I think you know what I'm talking about with the fire.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh.
It was okay, it's almost like this isn't really a spoiler, but they're driving through like a forest fiery kind of thing, and it looks stunningly beautiful. It's like someone was like, "Hey, I like what this marketing person did with Oppenheimer. Like, let's just grab them and then just put them in this like work your magic here."
That's so smart.
There was a spark.
Let's do it. There was
quite a few of them.
Oh my god. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this might be spoilers, so cut me off if it is, the story of like Kristen Dunst's character in it, like how she becomes like a hardcore journalist, and then towards the end she kind of like softens up a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but not like, I don't know.
Get into it.
Yeah, we'll get more into it. We're being a little vague here, but it's all right. Yeah, I would say that her character journey was not how I expected it to go.
Me either. I was shocked when we got there.
Yeah, with how it ended, I expected it the way it ended, but I want to say like at the 3/4 mark, that's kind of where I'm like, I was not expecting it to go. But every other, like everything out of that, out of 4, sections of the movie, I would say like, okay, you hit the beat here that I expected, you hit the beat here that I expected. And then the third one where I'm like, whoa, that was an interesting thing. And then the last one, I'm like, okay, I saw that coming.
Yeah, I think, well, also, I'm just happy for Kristen Dunst. She hasn't, like, she's done stuff and all that, but I feel like she hasn't gotten that, like, star power yet. And so it was really fun to see her in this role, too, and, like, kind of be that star power.
She is really thriving right now, you know, with Civil War and, oh, crap.
She was nominated 2 years ago for something. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, but and honestly, she was one of my childhood crushes. Like, when
course.
She was MJ and Spider-Man, man. Like, I always gotta give her credit for that little shout out there. But speaking of, Jesse Plemons is also in this movie.
Yes.
You got the husband and wife team going on there.
I always forget they're married. Like, that always surprises me. Oh.
No, but they're both great, and Jesse Plemons, he's not really in the movie for all that long.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, if you go see this movie for Jesse Plemons, or who plays the president again?
I just said his name as we were walking out the theater.
I can't remember. If you go see this movie for Jesse Plemons, or the person who plays...
Nick Offerman.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go see the movie for Jesse Plemons or Nick Offerman, don't. They're barely in this movie. They're like Superman, Black Adam cameo level.
Yeah, I mean, but I will say though, the scene with Jesse Plemons specifically,
great scene.
Damn good scene.
Jesse Plemons deserves more love.
Oh my gosh. If he isn't receiving love already, give him more.
Yeah.
Give him more.
Yeah. I want to see him in more stuff. I really enjoy him. And it was disappointing. Like, his scene is very short, but he kills it.
Yes.
Stop. Knock it off.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there. We're not at spoilers yet. But the cast is great. Like, the whole cast is amazing. And
oh yeah.
The girl who plays the younger journalist, I can't remember her name, but she's really good too.
Yeah, the whole cast is fantastic through and through, and I'm genuinely curious to read the script for this movie.
Yeah, this would be interesting. I'm interested to see what they cut.
Yeah, you know what?
It's short.
Yeah, you know how Studio A24 like advertises their whole like, hey, look, you can buy our scripts like a hardcover or something like that. This one I would definitely kind of consider buying, because I'm just like this. I just want to know like was written on the page for some of this stuff, because there's some scenes that are really heavy, that are exclusively visual, and we'll get into it with our spoiler talk in a moment, but I think you know what I'm talking about, where there's like a scene that lasts for about a minute and they're leaving, and it's just kind of like there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to see what that was like on the page.
And Alex Garland wrote and directed it too, so I'd be interested to see like his mind space as well for it, because I don't think he's American either. I think he's British.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It does really hate on America.
Well, I mean, I think it's also good to get like an outside perspective.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, true. But honestly, if that's the case, for someone that is, you know, not, I guess, inherently American, if that is the case, I don't know. I haven't done too much research on Alex Garland in that way, but you know, he did a really good job, like, of, you know, what America's like, especially if you're kind of going on a road trip almost.
In a Civil War?
I mean, you know, it's Civil War every Tuesday.
So. Oh, gosh. Taco Tuesday? Nah, Civil War Tuesday.
Yeah, you're casual every week, you know, weekly Civil War.
Us Americans, we only carry guns and beer. That was really bad.
In that order.
In that order.
No, but I guess out of, let's say, okay, out of 10, because like usually we do something fun with our like rating system. Like, how many lightsabers would you give? How many like chili dogs for the Sonic movie? But like this one's like, how many bullets?
No.
Like how much blood-stained camera reel would you give? No, you know, okay, I want to say, out of 10 processing photos.
Okay, I like it.
Processed photos. How many would you give this movie out of 10?
This is a long pause. I will have to say, this is not my kind of movie. It made me feel queasy and all that. But as a reviewer of movies, I need to be fair and take my biases out aside from it.
0.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Stop! I will say this movie is like a 7.5 for me. Because I'll be honest, I really was disappointed in the world building. There's not much world building in this. And I have to just kind of, as a fan of journalism who studied journalism, and we'll get into it, I feel like they hate on journalism in this movie. And so I kind of have to defend that as well. So I think a 7.5 is fair.
Okay. I would honestly give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay. Very different.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, I think it's a great, like, beautiful terror of a movie, and it's very real, and honestly, it's not probably something I would eagerly look to see again anytime soon, but when the experience I did get out of it, you know, I'm like, this is a damn good film, but I wouldn't really say it's kind of like, you know, a rivalry with Doom Part 2.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, because I heard at South by Southwest, people that saw the movie there when it was first screened were like, oh, you know, this thing is going to give Doom Part 2 a run for its money. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are, like, a lot of aspects of this movie where I'm like, okay, I could kind of see that.
No.
But like, when I looked at it as, like, a whole and just kind of, like, my experience watching it, I'm just like, nah. Like, I mean, and that's not to discredit it anyway. I also was kind of, I have my own problems with it, like, here and there, outside of the, you know, the horror that was presented.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, that's not a fault of the movie, that's its job. But, yeah, I have some other critiques that we'll get into in our spoiler talk about the movie, because, again, it does revolve sometimes around heavily spoilery stuff.
Yeah.
So,
process photos, 9.5, 7.5.
Yeah. We cut that one reel halfway through.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, have you guys seen Civil War? what do you guys think about it? Are you planning to see an IMAX or regular? I would probably say if you want the more immersive Civil War experience, you want to feel like the gunfire is around you, which creep.
There was a person
No.
in our theater that laughed every time someone got shot. I was like,
Yeah, specifically, like, a lot of times in the head.
Yeah.
They're like, ha! I was just like, dude.
Are you okay?
You got some issues? Like, it kind of felt like your uncle at, like, a Thanksgiving or something that just kind of, like, laughs at something that kind of makes you feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh. That's funny. But yeah, what do y'all think about it? Whether you see IMAX regular, let us know what you thought, and let us know your take on our takes on this tape.
That's take.
All right, now without further ado, let's get into our spoiler territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to first talk about the young photographer is named Jesse. And towards the end of the film, Kristen Dunst kind of goes on this journey of being this hard-head journalist that's like, I don't care. If you come, you die. Like, whatever. And then when they're storming the castle?
I wish it was a castle.
Oh, my gosh.
That'd be so cool. Like, randomly put a castle in this movie. It's like, we gotta storm the castle.
When they're storming the White House, Kristen Dunst becomes like starts to have like a panic attack in a way. Like she's like freaking out and all that. And the photographer, Jesse, the young one, is taking all these photos and going super fast and all that, being like what Kristen Dunst was at the beginning. And then Kristen Dunst dies, and the young photographer, Jesse, just takes her photo as she's dying. Cool visual, by the way. Super cool.
Yeah, death is fun.
But...
Go ahead.
But I'll be honest, the jump from that was not as smooth as I thought, because the other journalist dies. I can't remember his name at all. The older one. Shoot.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, the Mentat.
Yeah. Sammy.
Thufir.
Thufir. I love that we bring Dune. But he dies, and I feel like it could have been a nice transition if you wanted her to be, like, freaking out. Like, she didn't even react to his death, I feel like.
Well, I think she did, like, in her own way. Because, I mean, the guy was just, Joel, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Was just, which, by the way, Joel, another apocalyptic thing.
Yeah,
so,
seriously.
He was reacting, like, very on the surface, like, oh, like, this is, freaking out. And then she was more so just, like, trying to hold it in. And then by the time, like, it kind of hit her, it was at the very wrong time where she's in combat.
Yeah.
You know, and just like, oh my gosh, like, I could die, like, blah, blah. And I think she kind of loses that whole hard-headed personality at that moment.
Yeah.
And then just kind of regains it once needs to uncover something.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where I stand, because we both walked out with completely different feelings. You're like, I think this was for journalists, and I'm like, this is against it, I will say.
Yeah, so elaborate on why you think that it's against journalism.
I think journalism should deal with facts and all that, and I feel like for this movie, they deal with opinions and everything. Like, these journalists aren't going, like, they're going for, like, one thing. Like, Joel's kind of a asshole in this movie, to be honest. Like, he wants one thing, is to get his, like, quote from the presidents and all that. And I even feel like towards the end, like, having Kristen Dunst's character fall and die, and then Jesse just take a photo of her and get up and walk away. I get it. Like, it's like a callback to the beginning, because Jesse's like, if I died, would you take a photo? And Kristen Dunst's like, yeah, no shit. Like, I would take a photo. That's my job. And so I feel like in a way that it kind of just makes them feel like nothing, like not even human in a way. That, like, oh, the cycle's going to continue of them just, like, being hardheads and going to get what they want, and that's it. So.
Well, I would actually say that that's actually the exact opposite argument they're trying to make. Like, what everything you're saying, yeah, I agree with, except the reason as to why they're saying it. So, like, I think that they're showing that to show how hard of a job it is.
Yeah.
Especially, more specifically, war journalism, where you're on the front lines and, like, you have to see that in front of you. And, I mean, that is so difficult, and, like, you gotta go through so much trauma within such a short period of time. And you do have, like we've seen in, say, Ukraine and, like, Israel and Gaza and all that, that there are, like, journalists that die, in the crossfires of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And but there are still journalists there to tell the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Like, once one goes down, you can't really dwell too much on it, in the moment. You gotta keep going to tell the story for the rest of the world to see. And, it may come across as like, oh, these people have no feelings and all that, but I think that's why you have the beginning of the movie that shows, like, yeah, these are people.
Yeah.
These are people. I mean, we have Kirsten Dunst in that one scene where she's sitting in that bathtub, like, covering her, like, having her face in her hands, just kind of like, contemplating everything, and just like, it's like, you could tell, like, she's frustrated and everything, and it sucks. But, that's not to say that they want to be robots or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the hand that they're given, and how they go through that emotionally and, physically as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense in a way. I think just the way they end Jesse's character kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth. I also wanted to say, I don't know if you catch this or not. It's very subtle. Kristen Dunst, when they have, like, a single shot of her, the way her shots are, it kind of looks like a camera with, like, the light surrounding it, like, the glow. And Jessie at the end, she kind of had the same thing at the end. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, it's like a camera thing.
Yeah, I knew that there was something up with it. I didn't catch, like, where it was originally from. And it's like, oh, that's a good connection.
Yeah.
I think this story was more so metamorphosis of Jesse's. Like, Jessie was the
young journalist.
Yeah, the young one. She it was more of a metamorphosis for her character to become a journalist.
Yeah.
And her whole ordeal, which is I think that's a great way to tell this kind of narrative, and just have the mentor kind of give their life for that person, and kind of, like, be a symbol for, like, previous war or any kind of journalism, really, where someone has lost their life, trying to tell a certain story or news break or something, and someone's got to continue that.
Yeah.
And I'd say the message is more so, like, journalism must prevail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm under the impression that was more to encourage journalism, like, but also showing the reality of it.
Yeah, it's, like, not an easy job to do, especially if you're in that kind of journalism as well.
Exactly, and Alex Garland does a great job capturing it, and Kirsten Dunst through her performance, and everyone else, like, phenomenal job. Through Fear, too.
Through Fear. I loved him. I'm so sad when he died, but I figured he was going to die.
He had a beautiful send-off in this movie. Like, with the whole traveling through the woods and, like, the flames and, like, the sparks.
Especially after that Jesse Plemons scene. It was, like, a good relief.
Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, that Jesse Plemons scene, since we can go into spoilers now.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so basically in the movie, there's this scene where Jesse Plemons is seemingly, I guess, maybe with the Western forces, or he's wearing, like, an army uniform.
Yeah.
So, people are kind of, like, thinking, oh, he might be, reasonable or someone good or something like that. But they capture two of their fellow journalists, and it's just kind of like, what kind of American are you?
Yeah.
It's like, and you could tell right away he's just, like, a real racist,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was that also his character in Breaking Bad? I forget. Like, where with.
I feel like it's his character in everything he does.
Like, there's one character I know where he's, like, another racist. But
Killers of the Flower Moon, The Power of the Dog.
No, Killers of the Flower Moon is the anti-racist.
Ah.
But
it's so creepy because he's like, "What kind of American are you?" And they're like, "Missouri, Colorado," and then
one guy says Florida.
Florida shoots him. Hong Kong shoots him.
Yeah, and honestly, I actually thought Joel was gonna die in that scene. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
he's gonna shoot him. And I love how the suspense is done in that scene where Clemens is just kind of like turning his gun around, like, and holding it up, and like every time he moves his gun, you're just kind of like, oh fuck. And like again, the sound design, I can't give enough credit to it. It's like so damn immersive and real. Like, every time a gun goes off, you can feel like the recoil of each and every shot.
Yeah, I felt like nauseous the whole time. I was like,
Oh,
oh my goodness, like, he's great in it. Jesse Plemons, again, he's barely in it, but he's great. Like, I wish he was in it more. I think it would have helped me, because I walked out of this movie kind of confused. I wish I had a map. A map would have been really helpful.
Well, I mean, I think they showed a map in like one
At
scene.
the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you on this, that they probably could have done a slightly better job of, like, explaining the sides and all that. Like, like the whole intro with the president explaining things. It's like, yeah, but it's not. So why are Tex? I mean, this was probably answered, but maybe, like, why is Texas and California like the Western, this Western coalition or whatever? Like,
how did they get military equipment? Why did they team up?
Yeah, was it like Western forces, as in like it's just the army like rebelling against itself, or what? I don't know. It's just really bizarre. Like, but at the end of the day, like I was telling Annmarie this too, there's no like, I think the story that was trying to tell within itself did a great job of doing so. Mm-hmm. But in regards to world building, maybe there probably could have been a little more.
I felt like I was missing something.
Yeah,
like I was missing like a part of it. But again, like, maybe that's not the story Alex Garland. Maybe that's the story he didn't want to tell. Like, he didn't want to tell like this like world building story. He's like, this is what it is and all that.
Like, it's about the journalism aspect more so than it is about like the current state of affairs there. And which I think a lot of people are going to go to this movie expecting that, like, okay, how did we get into the Civil War?
Yeah.
What's going on and all that? And they're not really going to get that. They'll get hints of it, but they're not going to get like this deep, elaborate explanation, kind of like a Star Wars opening crawl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been funny. Civil War.
Star Wars, Civil War. I mean, that's just Star Wars. But yeah, so I mean, it was
icky, I feel like. Like, when they stormed the White House, I'm like, oh my god, it's January 6th all over again. I just felt icky the whole time. I'm gonna go home and shower. Like,
yeah.
And I get it's supposed to make you feel that way, too. Like, Alex, I'm sure he didn't make this movie to be, like, happiness. No, like...
Yeah, no, I mean, that was definitely not the case. Yeah,
he missed the mark if it was.
Yeah, there was a happy face drawn on a wall with bullets, and therefore this is a happy movie. No, but I there was something else about the... Oh yeah, I really like if this was him that did it, but like Alex Garland's use of the like soundtrack, where it kind of gave it almost like a Vietnam feel with like certain intense like war crime scenes that are being committed, but like American songs are being played over it that felt like very of the time, and it just kind of felt like, wow, this is giving me like, say, what's the movie? Like, what's the famous Vietnam movie?
Oh gosh, I only can think of Heaven and Earth.
Like, I know Platoon, but like, what's the one with okay, we'll just say Forrest Gump.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Forrest Gump covers all of them.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it kind of has like a similar vibe, in that sense of like, oh, look, war crimes. Let's like get a good song going on top of that.
It was interesting, his use of music too. Like, sometimes I felt like it was a little distracting in a way, because it was like a tense moment, and then you get like this poppy song.
And that was one of my gripes. Like, where there's like all this death going on, and it's like, it makes sense, a few times, but there were certain moments where I'm like, did you really need that there?
Or, like, let it play out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, a big gripe, and again, that's why I would still give it 9.5. But, like, it's still kind of, it's a stylistic choice, I get it, but for me, it inconsistently worked.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, this movie, I guess, like, it would kind of cause a civil war of a discussion within itself, because I think people are either gonna, like, really get a lot out of it, or just say, like, things blow up.
They're gonna laugh like the person in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that fella there had his head blown off. Oh, what a hilarious moment there. Honey, get the Kodak.
I feel like this could start a lot of discussions and all that. Mm-hmm. Controversial. Let's go. Yeah, get more views. That's so bad.
On the surface, let's go. Amber's been found out as harvesting views.
No! No, I feel like this could start, like, honestly, great time for the movie to come out, but yeah, this can start a lot of discussions, or people are going to go see it and be like, hey, like, it was a great action movie.
Yeah. So. Which, I would say suspense thriller, it's like...
That's a better way.
But like you said, a lot of people are going to probably view it as, like, an action movie.
Yeah.
So it could blow up.
Go boom.
It go boom. But, overall, I would say this movie was just a blast.
Stop. This is like the third time we made a joke about someone being blown up or killed.
I'd say someone had to be blown up in that blast.
It was just a blast.
It doesn't always have to be a casualty. Gosh, never understand. No, but I would say this movie was just like a very solemn look at just what could happen, and just like a very respectful salute to journalists out there. Yeah. And who knows, it might create some... and inspire some journalists. Mm-hmm. We don't know. I mean, I'm very curious to see the aftermath of this movie as more and more people go to see it. Because honestly, the showtime we went to, I was not expecting that many people to be in the theater.
Yeah, there was a lot more than I thought too.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it pans out.
We'll see.
Yeah, but I guess any final thoughts on Civil War?
Amber? When does Spider-Man show up?
Oh, like, post-credit scene.
Oh, okay, we missed it.
Peter Parker was, like, one of the journalists taking photos.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't have it.
He's like, MJ.
Oh, wrong MJ, though.
Oh, my bad.
My bad, sorry.
Just hops into a portal. All right, well, hey. With that out of the way, at the time of recording, Cinemacon is going on right now.
Yeah.
But Annmarie is going to be going on a business trip. So we're going to this is going to be posted, I want to say, next week. Wednesday. So Cinemacon will probably be done by then. But I guess let's just talk a little bit about some Cinemacon stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, like that Joker trailer.
That was kind of crazy.
Oh, I thought you were, like, going to continue on.
Oh, no, it was crazy. Lady Gaga.
He took another breath.
Sorry, I was breathing up.
Yeah, you apologize for breathing so bad.
Sorry. No, I'm really interested because I'll be honest, I didn't love Joker. It's just not my kind of movie. Again, it feels too real. But I am excited for this one because I want to see what they're doing, because it's a musical? Like, that's so wild to me.
With, like, songs that aren't really original. It's like, it's pop songs.
Yeah. And Lady Gaga, I'm really interested in seeing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, so I'm really excited for it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful trailer.
Yeah, it's... Like, and they're really pushing the IMAX angle on this one.
Yeah.
I've noticed that right out of the gate. They're like, oh, it's going to be 70mm IMAX. I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. It's just with Joker, that's not really something I kind of expected. Like, oh, you got to see an IMAX. But it's like, after seeing Oppenheimer in IMAX, and the big push that was, and, like, what went behind it, where it's more, like, about people talking in rooms, I could imagine that like a psychological thriller like this, I guess / musical now as well, would also deserve that same amount of attention and screen capability.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna just be such like an interesting movie, just because it takes such a different angle than most superhero movie. It's not really a superhero movie. I feel like it's like a thriller.
Joker's my hero.
Stop. No, he isn't.
Get immediately on the FBI watch list.
No. We already talked about Civil War and people blowing up. It was a movie.
Wasn't it a door? No. Okay. Continue.
I was pulling up just a couple of stuff from Cinemacon too. I know Henry Cavill kind of has a big part. He came out and talked about some different movies as well. Henry Cavill's doing well. I'm sorry I called you like a Bugs Bunny character, but he's doing really well.
Yeah, I mean,
throw back to Argyle
review.
Argyle.
Or goal.
Argyle.
But yeah, no. He's got the Ungentlemanly Warfare, Mystery of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I think. And then on top of that, he also has The Grey, which is coming out.
Yes.
And there's just a lot to talk about, like with because it was Universal and Lionsgate. Lionsgate, I think, from what I heard, had the biggest presentation, like in regards to efficiency and just like knocking things out of the park. The ballerina for John Wick, which
super excited for.
Yeah, Ana de Armas, and she is a phenomenal actress within herself, and of course very easy on the Ethan eyes. So
we're gonna start labeling Ethan. Kristen Dunst's #1 fan. Ana de Armas #1 fan.
Everyone's beautiful.
No,
there's your wholesome statement of the day.
There you go. No, I'm really excited for that too. I think Ana de Armas deserves her due, pretty much. So.
Yeah. So I mean.
Also, I just looked it up because I wanted to see Deadpool and Wolverine. The first 9 minutes were shown.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Like, a lot of people were saying, oh, they might show the whole movie, or, like, they might show, like, a new trailer. I was like, no, they're going to show, like, the first... My money was on, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But you said 9?
9 minutes.
Dang it.
Was shown.
Off by 1 minute.
You know what? I am shocked that they haven't been pushing that as hard yet. Deadpool.
Well, I mean, they've been pushing they had the little cup that had the Wolverine thing on it that showed...
the cup?
Yeah, I guess... I mean, I'm not sure if it was just for the Cinemacon, for the people attending, or if it was just to show, like, hey, this is what we're going to have with our promotion when, at certain theaters, when we're going to be, like,
was it, like, things. The Dune popcorn cup, or
The Dune popcorn cup.
Or bucket.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just know that it showed Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, like, wearing the mask.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. I just thought, like, they'd be doing more promotion for it, but I'm sure, like, after Cinemacon, because it's coming fast.
That's their money, baby.
Yeah, seriously, they better make $1 billion out of this. Marvel might go into debt otherwise.
Yeah, like,
I just can't wait to see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, like, do banter. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what we're going to get with Free Guy, which, by the way, apparently there was a whole screening of Free Guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Free Guy? Fall Guy?
Fall Guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
the Ryan Reynolds movie?
Yeah, they're re-releasing it at theaters.
No way! That was a good movie.
Yeah, it's the, 5-year anniversary?
Is it? Wait.
I don't know.
Please don't say it is.
But no, they have the screening of Fall Guy, which, a lot of people really enjoy.
I'm super excited
for that.
But
I bring that up because, again, from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of charisma, like, and that's kind of what really makes the movie with Emily Blunt and, I was going to say Ryan Reynolds, but, like, Ryan Gosling,
He's beautiful, too.
They're all beautiful. Wholesome statement number 2.
No, I'm excited for that one, too, just because the presentation of it so far at, like, the Oscars and, like, kind of, like, for stunts doubles and all that, I think it's huge, so I'm really excited. That might be a review, too. Check out our channel. Subscribe.
Again, just, like, not afraid to just, like...
Plug.
Slam that notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Do everything you can to make me God.
You better just end this now.
Yeah, I mean, Cinemacon's still going on. Like, there's still, like, Paramount and Disney that have their conferences going on right now. Like you were saying with the Deadpool thing. We have a lot, that we could cover, but we were sadly not in attendance this year. Hopefully in the future, we can probably secure that.
See. We'll be posting a lot of stuff on Instagram, though, for announcements and everything. Yeah. Another plug.
Yeah.
But
so follow us on Instagram.
There you go.
So we can be like a demigod.
Yeah.
In your life. Don't worship anyone. But yeah, before we develop a whole new cult here, a cult classic is what I was saying. Definitely 100%. Yeah, let us know what you guys think about your thoughts on Cinemacon by the time this video review releases. Cinemacon will be over with, and there's probably a lot of trailers that are going to be releasing in, this week, the following week, etc. Let us know your thoughts on all those. And of course, let us know your thoughts, again, on Civil War. If you've seen it already, I mean, by then, I guarantee, like, millions of people would have already seen it. And, we'd be I'm genuinely curious to hear people's thoughts on this one.
Me too.
It's a very thought-provoking movie. And, again, very hard-hitting. And not because bullets are hard and they're hitting your body. But on that note, I would say that's a wrap on this wonderful review of Cassette.
Let's cut it.
All right, thank you for joining us. I've been Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And, thank you for staying with us. We hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast, but if you have, just don't forget to rewind. We really appreciate that so much. Physical media, let's go.
Yay!
But, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like that, and share with your friends. Introduce them to a new podcast.
Let's go. See you later.
Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Don't get into any other Civil Wars.
Oh, gosh, no!